Well, hello and welcome from the Preseli Hills, North Pembroke, West Wales. That ancient landscape behind me is dotted with prehistoric remains, ancient burials and hill forts dating back to the Bronze and Iron Age. But what the Preseli Hills are really famous for, it's the source of the blue stones that were used in Stonehenge, and they were dragged 180 miles, all those thousands of years ago, from here to Salisbury Plain. Well, my first stop in the Preseli Hills is Foel Drygarn Hillfort, which dates back to the Iron Age, 800 BC to around 74 AD. That's if I ever get to the top. This was a perfect place for a hill fort. I'm only halfway up. But saying that, probably my Celtic relatives are probably much fitter than I ever was. Made it to the top. Foel Drygarn. This Iron Age fort must have been quite impressive in its day. You could see it for miles, and it would have been surrounded by some impressive earthworks. And over on the far side you can see where the entrance would have been. So I'm coming up the main entrance just like my ancestors would have done. Greetings, my name's Marcus. Marcus? That sounds a bit Roman to me. Kill him. Also, at the very top of the hill fort, within the enclosure, you can find 3 of these Bronze Age burial cairns. I'm hanging on to the camera because it's really windy. Over there on the top of the hill, that's Carn Menyn, another rocky outcrop. But I'm going to head down to the bottom of the hill to the Golden Road. More about that coming up. Down at the base of the fort is the Golden Road. At 8 miles, the Golden Road, an ancient track, follows a route that is said to date back to the Neolithic period, 5,000 years ago. Was the main route for travellers in prehistory to and from Ireland. As you can see, we've had a lot of rain recently and the paths are quite flooded. We'll get round, don't worry. The weather in Wales is constantly changing. So I've stopped at Carn Menyn, basically because the rain's coming in again. But you can really see, look at the stones here, the natural Preseli Hill stone, how similar they are to some of the stones at Stonehenge. There's been some discussion about which area the stones came from within Preseli Hills. But I'm going to go to Carn Goedog, which apparently recently in some excavations they've proved that some of the stones have come from that exact area. So that's where I'm heading, but first I'm going to shelter because the rain's starting again. So I've made it to Carn Goedog, and recently they worked out that some of the bluestones at Stonehenge came from that precise location. So we're going to have a look at those. It's amazing how they got the stones from here all the way to Salisbury Plain and Stonehenge. Personally, I don't think it was anything magic. I think they probably were more skilled than we think they were. They had the manpower, and it took them a long time, and many probably devoted much of their life to that work. So no weird druid nonsense, none of that. I think it's straightforward, a bit of skill, a bit of manpower, and some time. So let's go and have a look at Carn Goedog. Well, I hope you enjoyed my short walk over the Preseli Hills, and we saw some fascinating sights and the source of many stones from Stonehenge. Hopefully we can travel soon, so if you haven't visited, Pembrokeshire is definitely worth a trip. We've got fantastic beaches as well as this ancient history. So I'm going to go back to the car. It's a couple of miles. Hopefully the rain will stay away, but fingers crossed. So until next time, bye from me.